Join us as we journey into the darker side of Hollywood's golden age and explore the eerie and unsettling elements that make these films so iconic. From the creepy atmospheric settings to the terrifying creatures that lurk in the shadows, we're delving into the human terror that screams classic horror of the decade. So, if you dare, step into the eerie world of endless perception cinema and discover these 5 startling films from the 1950s horror vault. Number 5, The Black Sleep, 1956. Directed by Reginald LeBorg and starring Basil Rathbone, Akeem Timoroff, Lon Chaney Jr., John Carradine, Bela Lugosi, Herbert Rudley, Patricia Blake, Phyllis Stanley, and Tor Johnson. Sir Cadman gets Ramsey out of prison with a potion called Nindindira, or the Black Sleep, which places its subject in a temporarily death-like state.
Take that in the morning before they come for you.
Dr. Ramsey is saved from execution by Sir Cadman in exchange for helping him with his research on the human brain.
Sir Joel, that's cerebral fluid. But that means this man is...
Of course he's alive. He's in black sleep. He doesn't feel anything.
After marveling at the newfound surgical techniques, Ramsey also discovers the frightening results caused by Cadman as he uses the potion to experiment on live human subjects.
Stop! Daphne!
The only known case of someone literally dying of fright at a horror movie occurred at the Lake Theater in Chicago, when a patron died of a ruptured artery in the cinema lobby after a screening of The Black Sleep. Number 4, Blood of the Vampire, 1958. Directed by Henry Cass and starring Donald Wolfett, Barbara Shelley, Vincent Ball, Victor Mardern, William Devlin, and Brian Coleman. Because Callistratus experimented with conditions of the blood, the authorities called him a vampire and sentenced him to death. But after the villagers staked him, the doctor received a heart transplant and continued his gruesome experiments. Unfortunately, Callistratus needed constant transfusions, which meant others paid the price for him to stay alive. After being falsely imprisoned in an asylum, the mad doctor forces Dr. Perry to assist him in his search for a permanent cure and a fresh supply of victims.
Suffering from a serious blood deficiency. How much have you given him?
You misunderstand, Pierre. I'm not giving him any blood. I'm taking it from him.
How much have you taken?
Nearly 2 liters.
You must be mad.
Even though Blood of the Vampire had no real vampire characters, some countries, France and the UK, gave the film an X certificate, meaning it could not be viewed by anyone under 16 years old.
This man is being kept alive artificially. He has no heart.
Number 3, The Haunted Strangler, 1958. Directed by Robert Day and starring Boris Karloff, Gene Kent, Elizabeth Allen, Anthony Dawson, Vera Day, Tim Turner, and Diane Aubrey. Journalist James Rankin is determined to prove that the courts executed the wrong man for the crimes of the Haymarket Strangler 20 years ago.
If Stiles had had the money to buy an adequate defense, he never would have hanged.
During his investigation, Rankin comes across the buried knife used by the killer. And Rankin is seemingly possessed and goes through a transformation into the Strangler. Rankin moves through the city, taking the lives of young women, not realizing that he will soon discover a more insidious secret about the Haymarket Strangler. As the director and makeup man discuss ways to cut costs, Karloff offered to achieve an inexpensive metamorphosis effect by simply removing his dentures. Number 2. Corridors of Blood, 1958. Directed by Robert Day and starring Boris Karloff, Betta St. John, Finlay Currie, Francis Matthews, Adrian Curry, Francis DeWolf, Basil Dignam, and Christopher Lee. Dr. Thomas Bolton experiments with finding an anesthetic to help make surgery pain-free. During this era, the best way to avoid a patient's pain was to cut as quickly as possible.
This is a straightforward amputation at the lower extremity of the femur.
Bolton gets tied to seedy criminals who murder and then sell the bodies for a profit.
Strange. No signs of a hemorrhage.
To advance his experiments, Bolton signs the death certificates, making him an accessory to the murders.
We can't bury him without a proper certificate.
Bolton experiments with the new gases on himself, only leading him further into a path of self-destruction.
You slashed it on the glass. I was here. I saw you. Uncle, you didn't feel any pain.
Censors successfully had scenes pulled from the film before its debut. 1. The amputation, close up. 2. Christopher Lee stabbed the night watchman.
What are you doing here?
And 3. When Karloff throws acid in Lee's face. Producers later restored these scenes to the film during the 2006 video release. Number 1. House on Haunted Hill, 1959. Directed by William Castle and starring Vincent Price, Carol Amart, Richard Long, Alan Marshall, Carolyn Craig, Alicia Cook, and Julie Mitchum. 5 people gather at an allegedly haunted castle.
It isn't a very warm welcome, is it?
Only the ghosts in this house are glad we're here.
Their hosts promised the 5 guests $10,000 each if they spent the night.
Now, before the party begins, let's go over the details. If any of you decide not to stay for the party, you must let me know before midnight. Of course, if you leave, I shan't be able to pay you anything.
Causing tension at the mansion are the married couple that do not trust one another.
If ever a man had grounds for divorce,
But can't prove them.
the time will come. You'll slip up one of these days,
Think so?
if I live long enough.
Ghosts, only seen by some, and a house with a history of unusual deaths.
But none of the murders here were just ordinary. They've all been sort of wild, violent, and different.
And then there's that vat of acid in the basement. The rumor is a previous resident used it to get rid of his wife, and the liquid is still very active. First-run theaters advertise emergo, a technique where a wired skeleton moved across the screen during scary scenes, causing audiences to jump. Additionally, producers saved money by using a real human skeleton instead of a special effects one.
Come with me.
If you've got a favorite creepy horror film from the 1950s, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my deep dive into 5 weird horror movies from the 1970s you need to see. See you next time.